Hello, YouTube.
Hi, YouTube. Mom is back with the kids.
I didn't like that, but
What?
you're like, you're not. No, I'm sorry.
She's not a MILF?
You don't see her as a mom?
No. I can see her as a mom, but she's not like my mom.
Well, no. What the fuck? Okay, anyways, like, subscribe, comment.
Big 12 quarterbacks today.
Brandon shaved his beard.
Enjoy.
Comment, share, like, subscribe. Thank you.
Jack, good tweets today from the USA Roughness account.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Thanks, man. I actually sent them over to Gaz, and he was like, $100,000 raise.
Good.
You know what's really funny about that is when I mentioned your tweet before you jumped on here, because I knew it was yours, Jack kind of looked at me for a second as if he didn't know what I was talking about, which then solidified that, as I've said a million times, we need to out Brandon for having the password.
I don't have the password to the account.
You're
I don't-
back-to-back. You're
have the
back-to-back
login,
tweets.
though.
I responded. This was not me, but it was kind of like a joke, like everyone knows it's me or Katie, but usually Katie will send me something and we'll both approve it. And that one was it was me.
You just decided to wake up and hate Ole Miss and A&M today?
Yeah. I was like, I haven't been tweeting enough off of the account, and we're getting into August. It's August next week.
Thank God.
We got to get going. And I was like, you know what? No better way to start this off than pissing off Texas A&M.
And Ole Miss.
I thought they were good tweets, Jack. I thought you did
They
a good
were
job.
good tweets. They were just very clearly Brandon Walker tweets.
They're doing very well.
They
I
are.
think Jack has gotten pretty decent at tweeting through my voice and our voices. So
Yeah,
I
that's-
appreciate
That's the thing that you have to, what people don't get. That's what you have to act like.
You have
If
to know
you
the
can
voice.
do that, and I do it with, I have a plethora of voices. I have Brandon's voice, your voice, Troops's voice, Expression's voice. I mean, talk about
versatility.
versatility. I'm international.
that's 4 different voices.
Yeah.
Facts.
And one's a woman, so it never stops. Anyway,
That wasn't very nice, was it?
hey, can I tell y'all a secret just between me and you? And we won't put this out.
Wait, actually?
Yeah,
Okay. I'll remember.
that was me that tweeted those things.
Oh,
Oh, damn.
yeah. Damn.
Wow. I'm
Can't
so
believe it.
surprised.
Wow.
Didn't know if y'all knew it. I don't know if you could tell.
Earth shattering.
Jack was just covering for me right there. That was
Yeah.
me. But I do not have the password to the account. That's true.
You just have the login saved.
It is
Can
It is
somebody
logged-
take his phone and log out?
it's logged in on my phone. That's all I can tell you.
I would never touch his phone, just like I'd never touch yours.
I appreciate that. Thank
Also,
you.
you're gonna have to. You can't touch it because if you do, I mean, that's how I go look at people I blocked. That's how I go look at their accounts. So
Okay.
Oh, it's your like burner, but not.
basically my burner. Yes, it's basically my burner.
I think
Yeah, at least you're proud about having that big of a burner.
I got a
that's actually an
gigantic
unreal
burner.
burner. It's
That's
just
an
an
unreal
account
burner,
with
yeah.
93,000 followers.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like a massive account. Do you have that on Instagram too?
It's kind of a sick brag. My burner account has 93,000 followers.
Yeah.
My burner account has whatever you two have.
Oh, that's true.
I found a wrestler blocked me, and I had to go on. I forget whose account I used. I found out people
A
blocked me.
WWE wrestler?
Yeah,
Oh,
Who?
you remember a couple years ago when she got into it with that
Oh, that's
wrestler?
true.
Cass
I'm
Wheeler?
pretty
Yeah,
sure it's
yeah.
from that. but
Who?
it's-
What wrestler?
What,
He
who's-
offended all of the WWE
It
at one
was,
point.
his name was Cash Wheeler. He's in the tag team FTR and AEW. But back
He
then,
doesn't look
Okay.
huge. Who's the guy who does stuff on TikTok? Is like stupid. He's,
I don't I don't know.
he's old. He's retired. He's in a legal battle with like trying to get his rights back or something.
Brandon doesn't care. He's spraying
But yeah,
his,
other people
his
block
hair.
me. I just use your accounts.
She does have both of our passwords.
All right, y'all ready?
Yeah.
I don't have your password.
No, Katie has our Twitter and Instagram passwords.
Oh yeah, Katie has my whole life.
Yeah, she can
got the
ruin
number.
I'm
us.
almost. I don't know if you have my bank account information, but you
No.
probably could if you wanted it.
Yeah, I would say she could
No.
figure mine out pretty easily. She knows
She's
my
had my
password.
credit
Yeah.
card in her hand before by herself, so she could ruin my life in a second.
When I have to use like a company card for something, I have it like I'm paranoid about accidentally having it still in like my Uber, like because I ordered something to Postmates for everyone, and I like purposely went and deleted it. Just I was like scared. I was
She's
gonna
a better
have it.
person than us.
I'm scared of
think I had-
like, stuff off of it
I
accidentally.
think I had Roan's credit card saved in my Uber for at least 2 months.
Did you use it?
Eh.
Accidentally.
All right, here we go. So let's do a show. Hola.
What?
Welcome to, huh?
Muy bien, gracias. Y tú?
What are y'all doing?
You said hola.
We were answering.
Eh.
Okay. Hola, welcome to Unnecessary Roughness, Barstool College Football Podcast, brought to you by High Noon Hard Seltzer. I'm looking at 3 of them right there in front of the gals and the guy, and then right here in my hand is, boom, the pool pack, the High Noon pool pack. Delicious. They got the best flavors of the summer: the peach, the kiwi, the guava, the lime, and so many other great flavors. Just High Noon is taking over the world.
They really are.
They really are.
Shout out High Noon. They've been with us for a minute,
Yeah.
as the kids say.
And they're
They've
going
been with us since the very beginning.
No, we had
almost.
Yeah,
I forgot the mac and cheese folks.
Yeah, but we had their. They've been with us. This will be our 3rd season with them.
Yes. Yeah. They really started ramping up in quarantine.
Yeah, they did.
Because
Yeah,
I had so
But that was
much-
already. But that was already.
we already using it.
Yeah, they were
I
already
guess-
on board with us.
I
I
guess
think it was when Kayce promised the peach bath that they said we're going to
Oh,
speak to them until that happens, and Kayce's just never going to do it. So
that's not true. I've offered my body up to the peach bath so many times. Can I do something really quick to get this out of the way?
Yeah.
I just need to swear.
Uh-oh.
I just need to say fuck. I just need to say fuck. You know what I did last night, Brandon? And I need you to scold me. Okay. I went on a podcast and I self-censored myself and I'm embarrassed about it. I didn't know I could swear on a podcast and I use words like crap. And halfway through it, I was like, what the fuck am I doing here? And the guys that were awesome, the OU podcast, Gabe and Teddy, they were like, you don't have to censor yourself. We were kind of just like laughing at the fact you said crap. And I feel like I've let unnecessary roughness down.
Well, I'm fine with that. That you were at least trying to show a little bit of class when you were
Okay,
representing us somewhere else. But the fact that you went on an Oklahoma podcast and groveled in the first place is
I didn't
just
grovel.
a shame.
I didn't grovel.
Did you see what I just tweeted? And you probably didn't because I just tweeted it. But
Well,
I've
no, 'cause
noticed
I put on my phone.
this response from everyone we get cross with these days. Everyone we get cross with will answer with this. And it's a guy that just, I said something about A&M and it says, oh, he's just going for those clicks and likes.
That's
The easiest way to do that is talk bad about A&M. I have heard that exact answer about Clemson, about Oklahoma, about everybody. Everybody says that these days.
I got told last week when I was in it with Michigan State, they said that the only reason I was using Michigan State was because they have the most active fan base on college football Twitter. That's why I attacked them.
Oh, okay.
Arkansas thinks they have the biggest fan base on Twitter. Tennessee, there's 30 fan bases that believe that the college football Twitter universe revolves around them. It's really weird.
It's weird, but it keeps it keeps the clicks coming. And here's the thing. First of all, fuck you. I did not go on the Oklahoma breakdown with those guys to grovel. I went on to say something that people on Twitter don't understand, that you can talk shit about a fan base and also think that team is going to be good. And like you mentioned, people are always like, well, they're just using it for clicks. Don't give them any more exposure because they're just begging for it. It's like, what do you think that this is? What are you talking about? However, I kind of love that that's the way people act. They think they're so important. These troll accounts think they're so important that they're gonna be like, they're not getting my views. Like, okay, don't view it then. Or
So,
do.
did you have a good time pandering to Oklahoma's fan base?
Well, apparently I didn't pander well enough because they're still mad at me. I got called a whore a bunch today. That was exciting. No, I went on and said exactly what I think, which I had, a great time with those guys. They're awesome. It's funny how people that are in the media understand that you can have multiple takes. The 3 things that I said that we went into were: 1, I think it's very funny people, are still upset about Lincoln Riley, which they are. 2, I think OU is going to be pretty decent. I think Venables is a good coach and they're going to be fine. And 3, just because I have those 2 takes on OU fans has nothing to do with A&M. Period. That's not pandering.
You're right. That's pandering.
Although I did see multiple people say that if they really want a good troll job, that you and I should start going on all these fan bases podcasts and just going full heel as a pair, which would be kind of fun.
I swear I thought about that. I was like, I wish I had gone on a Clemson podcast last week. I'd love to just be the voice of doom on several fan bases podcasts this year.
We should do, it's like we're a wrestling pair. We should just start really, and again, people on Twitter don't understand that that hate clicks and hate views also count. we should make that part of our personality in the offseason next year.
All right. Speaking of Oklahoma, which you went on their podcast last night. Speaking of them, we're doing Big 12 quarterbacks this week. Our top 7 Big 12 quarterbacks. All right. Kayce is taking over some of my duties as far as the either or questions, which I would like to participate every now and then. So she's doing that this week. She's also going to throw some random teams at me so I can play that game.
I had a question for you with that. How many do you want?
I just thought 5 or 6 or.
Okay, I did 5. I did one from each of the Power 5. I had 15 written down. I felt like that was too many.
I was in a YouTube wormhole last night watching highlights, college football highlights, and I came up with 8 things about college football that we underrate. We underrate 8 things. That is going to be my topic du jour today.
I love it.
Not a whole lot in the way of news, except some little things to pick apart right here at the beginning. And I guess the biggest piece of news is a piece that's really not going to be all that newsworthy because I don't think anything's really going to happen to them. But Tennessee, 18 violations for Jeremy Pruitt. Before I get into the violations, my question is, has there been a worse hire in the last 10 years than Jeremy Pruitt at Tennessee? I can think of one.
Chad Morris
Chad Morris at Arkansas. But
Yeah.
other than that, Tennessee fans actively and on purpose, they ran out Greg Schiano. They did not want him so they could hire Jeremy Pruitt, who turned out to be the biggest joke of a hire in Tennessee history. This guy is a fucking idiot.
Yeah, I mean, Chad Morris was a worse hire. However, I would make the argument that the Jeremy Pruitt hire is worse from an optic standpoint because he couldn't do anything right. Like when the player got arrested and all that stuff came out, that was a horrible look. Now, which by the way, these coaches' wives that are like ride or die, like Mrs. Pruitt apparently is, I love that. I think that's great. But he just couldn't get out of his own way and he stunk as a coach. But when it came out that Mrs. Pruitt was like giving out money at like nail salons and stuff, I laughed my ass off. I think that's hilarious.
Well, let me talk to Jeremy Pruitt right here. Just let me look in the camera. Jeremy, your heart's in the right place that you want to cheat and give players money, and that's great. That's fantastic. That's what coaches do. But the trick about Dabo and Saban is they have plausible deniability. The job gets done. Things get handled. They don't have to know about it. They don't know about it. And they're certainly not handing people cash. The way these things work is you have a figurehead, and behind that figurehead's back, shit's getting done. Jeremy, you need people behind your back getting shit done. You can't just be handing bags of cash out to people. Can't let your wife handle business for you. But what am I telling you for? Because you're a joke and you'll never get a job again.
I'm trying to think of worse hires. And let's just
Chad Morris is one.
2010s. So Chad Morris. I think Charlie Strong is a very good he's done. Think about it. I don't even think he's coaching anymore. Oh, he was a part of Urban Meyer's staff in Jacksonville.
I got one. I got one. And it doesn't resonate as big as those others, but South Carolina hiring Will Muschamp after he ruined Florida was just incredible. And they let him go like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, no, Will Muschamp. I think Les Miles at Kansas is up there.
That's way up
Charlie
there.
Strong is still coaching. He's a co-DC and linebackers coach in Miami.
The Miami Hurricanes?
That makes
didn't know.
sense because he probably
Yeah, he's behind Kevin Steele down there.
He or Nebraska firing Bo Pelini for Mike Riley.
Yep.
Yeah. I loved having Bo Pelini on this podcast.
Yeah, Bo Pelini is tired of college football shit.
He was just like, I'm fucking done with this. I don't care about this anymore. Kevin
Sumlin was really bad at Arizona. He was great. He was a good hire at A&M, but he was awful at Arizona. Jim McElwain was an awful hire.
A lot of bad hires of like guys who had decent to moderate success at other D1 programs. The Will Muschamp one is underrated, by the way. I mean, I know we've talked about it before, but it's like, why did they think that was going to work after the disaster that he was at the end of his Florida tenure?
Are there any hires right now? I'll tell you a sneaky one. I'll tell you a real sneaky one. Fuente at Virginia Tech was garbage.
Yeah, he was. He really failed.
But he was that roller
I'm gonna
coaster
say,
ride too, though.
I don't want to back up Pruitt too much, but I don't think he's close to Morris. Morris literally depleted the program within a 2-year span. Pruitt at least Pruitt won some games. There was some hype with him, and then Heupel came in and had a decent team. I know it's the transfer portal era and whatnot, but he was somebody like.
But do you know how bad Jeremy Pruitt was? Heupel came in, went 7-6, and they're acting like he went 11-1. They're acting like he's the best coach they ever had.
Between like the programs too, it's like Chad Morris depleted Arkansas, but the expectations on Arkansas versus the expectations at Tennessee are wildly different. I just think it's funny that, Jeremy Pruitt thought he was so high and mighty that he was like, you know who I am, you know what we did at Alabama, and he's just a laughing stock now.
You know who skates by on the bad hire list because Chad Morris came after him? Bielema was shitty at Arkansas.
Bielema was an awful hire, man.
I don't think he was awful.
He was awful. He's the one that led to Chad Morris. He's the one that he thanked that team, and then Chad Morris couldn't get it out.
Has not until Sam Pittman has really not had a good run for a while.
Yeah, but it's been two coaches. It was Bielema. It was the end of Petrino, and then it was Bielema and Morris. And then
what was the guy's name that was the interim coach that was such a clown?
At what?
At Arkansas after Petrino.
Oh yeah.
You remember he was there for like
Price?
1 year. Smith,
No.
something Smith.
John L. Smith.
John L. Smith. Boy, what a guy.
Yeah.
He looked like a joke of a coach. Like he looked like he would play like a satire of a coach on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of other coaches. Like you could say Clay Helton, but he wasn't that bad. At least they made a Rose Bowl. They almost won that Rose Bowl. It could have been a lot worse, but
he also stuck around for a long time.
Yeah, he was there for 6 years. I mean, you could say Lane Kiffin was a tough hire at Tennessee, but he left on his own accord.
He was only there for a year though.
Yeah.
And I was laying there last night. I had a little epiphany about NIL.
Oh,
I was
boy.
thinking about NIL and what it means and how a lot of fans, older fans, like don't want to watch college football because of NIL anymore. And is college football better or worse because of NIL? And I was thinking about it. What's my opinion? And I ultimately came to this conclusion. Why do I care? Because NIL isn't for me. It's not for my enjoyment. It's not to balance college football. It's not to fix college football. It's to give players money. It's to give players their piece of the pie. So why do I give a fuck if Alabama is still good in NIL? Why do I give a fuck if A&M rises in NIL? We wanted the players to get taken care of, and they're getting taken care of. I, as a fan, am gonna have to deal with it.
I agree.
Yep.
I agree completely. You can't have your cake and eat it too. It's either you agree that something needed to change with compensation. I understand that fully paying players is a wildly different argument, and that'll have to come hopefully, down the road where it'll make more sense. But paying somebody for their name, image, and likeness, and not even just paying them, allowing athletes to make money off of their own name, their own image,
but
and
they're
their
not
likeness.
doing that. That's not
They're
what
not.
They're not. But you can't say it's either they can do it or they can't. And if you say that you don't like the way that NIL is run now, that's fine. But there's not. Right now. It's either happening or it's not. It's happening, and we just have to get behind it. Or you have to make the argument you don't think it should happen at all.
I think the argument, if I had to play devil's advocate to you,
That's fine.
would be how NIL is set up right now is not what people thought NIL would be. And it's pay for play, essentially.
That's what it is.
Yeah. And I mean, if that's what we want, that's fine. And I think we all want that here, and that's fair. But I think that would be the number one complaint. It's like, yeah, there are the Bryce Youngs that are making a lot of money getting sponsored by whoever, but the ones that think about Spire Sports that was here recently, they were here like all of these shell organizations that Nico Iamaleava or whatever his name is getting paid $8 million to go to Tennessee for, are set up not to use him to build their brand. It's
For him to play.
at Tennessee.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's definitely.
Have I told you all that I'm going to become Mr. NIL?
Yeah.
Yes. Have you made any moves?
I had a meeting about it last week. It's going to cost me a lot of money.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
How does Mrs. Walker feel about this?
Who gives a shit? Driving around in a 2022 Mercedes-Benz GLS. What do I care what she thinks?
GLS.
All about those equal rights down there in Mississippi.
Is it gonna be a 5-star?
Let's just start with.
Hold on. Just relax.
Why'd you say that?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Like
get
he'll
the
get the
players.
Mercedes. He's not getting the Bugatti.
I'm getting the players I need to get. That's all.
I have another question. Are you able to pick your player, or are you as a part of a board that's picking players?
I fear you're asking too much.
Okay.
Okay.
I
I
fear
think
you're asking too much.
that would be he has no comment there because NIL organizations such as one he's probably making do not influence players' decisions to go to school. That
They
would
don't
never
reveal it.
happen.
Ask me another question, Kayce.
Oh no.
Can you name the player that you're paying for?
I have no comment about that.
Yeah, that's not a
Will
thing.
you take said player or players, plural, into Davis Wade Stadium and point around and say, this is where I sit and I'm going to pay you?
I have no comment about that.
No, he would never pay a player. He has a company that the player is going to
Work for.
work for.
Jack,
Like,
ask me a question.
Oh God.
so you would never recruit a player and say, you'll get this money if you come to this school, right? You never do.
I'm not here to talk about that today.
Follow up on Jack's question. Have you promised said player, if he comes to Mississippi State, he will get playing time
I have no comment about that.
starting?
Oh
I-
my God. I
I
hate
do not know at this time.
I hate Casey's Big 12.
I knew you would.
list.
All
Hey,
right, let's
what's
dive
the-
into it because I want to get muddy. I want to get
Brother,
nasty.
Did you see the SEC media poll?
Who
Yeah,
cares? I hate
It's
that.
the same every single year. It's always us at the
And
bottom.
then it's the
always-
AP poll.
Well,
and-
no,
Yeah.
I'm more laughing that someone voted for Vanderbilt to win the SEC.
That
Somebody
shows-
always. That's
Go.
the problem with these homer ass media. Like, why do we even do this anymore? Why do we get these media over and have them vote? Like, somebody that covers Vanderbilt's going to say Vanderbilt. Somebody that covers Arkansas is going to say Arkansas. I don't care what fucking a fat ass in Arkansas cares or thinks about what's going on in football. They don't know.
The guy that takes, or a girl, I shouldn't be so sexist,
I have no
that put Vanderbilt, it's just an asshole. Like, they just want to be able to go back to their buddies and be like, haha, did you see that Vanderbilt had a one? That was me, man. That was me. And it's like, who fucking cares?
Yeah, I bet they were even fans of Sarah Fuller a couple of years ago, Jack. Remember that name?
Oh God, don't do this. Don't do it.
Let's get muddy. Let's do the Big 12 quarterback list.
Hey,
Hey,
put some respect on Sarah Fuller's name. She's better kicker than you.
yeah, but
Well,
I don't know about that. At
I shouldn't have said
22, I
that.
think Brandon would have been a better kicker.
Well, it's not
22.
it's right now.
at
well-
22, I was
Well, he got his
Well,
right
yeah,
now
I
is
mean-
talking shit.
What?
just
Remember
relax. I have no comment about that.
Tried to throw a football 50 yards.
I threw it 50. I threw it 49 and a half.
I was there. It was not 50.
I threw it 49 and a half.
Was it really 49 and a half?
Yeah, I
That's
landed at the
long.
half-yard line.
Okay.
I don't think that it did. I think that it was a little bit further back.
It
than
absolutely landed at the half-yard line.
whatever.
Hmm.
And you weren't doing shit.
No, I wasn't. I was literally sitting on the ground. I think I might have been laying on the ground, as a matter of fact.
I found when we do these conference quarterback rankings, the Big Ten, the ACC, the SEC were relatively easy. It was easy to crown the top of all three of them, especially the Big Ten and the ACC. CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, that's easy. Then you figure out. But with the Big 12,
It was fucking hard.
four of my top 7 Big
I-
12 quarterbacks have never thrown a pass in a Big 12 game.
I think the Big 12 sneaky has a lot of good quarterbacks.
It does, but you ordering them and you got to go on predictions. You can't go on past performance. Like this is predictions right here. This isn't.
I
This
can't
is
figure out why
this
you-
is not. Let's just see what they've done already. This is what I think they're going to do, and it's this one has a chance for a lot of variance, and I'm excited about it. But since you
can't-
said that Kayce Smith, you don't like hers, I want her to go first.
No.
I've decided I don't hate it that much anymore.
Oh, see, I was going to say, I knew that you wouldn't like a specific one, but now I'm curious which of there's 2 on here that I assume that you didn't like my
Why don't
ranking.
you just go first, and you can
All right. I'm having a conversation over here.
Well, we have microphones. It's a show.
Okay. All right. This, I will agree with you, Brandon. We talked about in the last episode that the top of the Big 10 was easy. The bottom of the Big 10, or not bottom, the 6, 7, 8, 9 range was a little bit more difficult than the ACC and the SEC. Big 12, much harder. Shall I start with number 1, Brandon?
Where the fuck else would you start? With?
Imagine she went in reverse. No, I'm going to start at number 4.
Can I not go first?
I'll go first.
Why? I always go first.
I was gonna say, if Jack hates my list so much,
No, that your list is Let's just do it. You
All right,
go
fine. Okay. All right. And this is not pandering. My number one quarterback in the Big 12 is one Dylan Gabriel for Oklahoma. Obviously we've made a lot of fun of UCF on this podcast in years past. However, when you look at the success that he had, 70 touchdowns and all the stats, plus he's now going to be moving to the Big 12 where he's going to have a better O-line, better wide receivers, better weapons, and he's reconnected with his offensive coordinator. I believe it's Jeff Lebby, right?
Yeah.
Jeff Lebby was there in 2019. So I'm going to put him at number one. I know there's a lot of expectations on him. And once you lose the two guys at OU like they did, obviously with Spencer Rattler going to South Carolina and Caleb Williams, you have a lot of pressure. However, Dylan Gabriel being in the Power Five at number one. I have number two, and this one is another one that I can't stop thinking that he's going to be great, is JT Daniels. I know that what's wrong with you?
I'm leaning back. I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm leaning
your
back.
face. You made a pursed
I'm
face.
leaning
Anyway,
back. Let me lean back.
All right. So JT Daniels, I realize he's been to 3 different places in 4 years now. We know about his arm talent. We know about his experience. He just can't stay healthy. And when he does stay healthy, he's really, really good. So, he's going to have good receivers. There's not near as much pressure on him than there has been in the last couple of years. And I still think that he is the guy we expected him to be the last 2 schools that he's been at. The chips just haven't fallen in his favor.
Plus he gets Graham Harrell back.
Yes, and he's familiar with Graham Harrell's offense and everything. I think that he's in a much better position at West Virginia than he has been in the past. Number 3, and that's assuming that he's as good as we think that he is. Number 3, and this one is tough. I have Spencer Sanders because he's been the most consistent and has the most experience. Now, Oklahoma State, I think, has not lived up to the expectations that we thought that offense would. Jack, I know in a couple of seasons ago, we looked at just all the power they had, but Spencer Sanders is a consistent guy. He's a veteran guy, and he is not going to lose the game for you. He's not going to win the Heisman Trophy, but he's not going to lose the game. Number 4, I have Quinn Ewers. This is solely based on his projections, solely based on what he looked like coming out of high school, what we assumed he would be at Ohio State. Now going to Texas, having the receivers that he's going to have, having the backs that he's going to have, solely on projection there. And I don't know, you're rolling your eyes at me. You're really pissed off. I'm not really sure why, but I'm going to keep going. I have Baylor's quarterback, and what is wrong?
Blake Shapen. His name is Blake Shapen.
No, I know, but the way that you're reacting to me is not.
You're being very neurotic about this. This is just how I'm reacting.
I'm gonna be honest. I am being a little bit neurotic. I'm on cold medicine today, and it makes me feel like I'm on drugs. I'm not on drugs, but I feel like I am.
I will tell you, his reaction is not based on his list. I know his list, and it's not that.
He just wants to whatever.
I think so.
Blake Shapen. He's only played 5 games. He took over the starting role, sent the other kid packing. Baylor obviously had a great season last year. I think he can recreate it. I have Max Duggan at number 6 for TCU. He's a solid guy. TCU's not made any huge strides. However, he puts up the numbers. It's not his fault that they've stunk. I have him at number 6. And then number 7, and I fuck up his last name all the time, Tyler Shaw, right?
Shook.
Shook.
We all 4 said different things.
Chow.
Shough, obviously a former
Say
Oregon.
it every way. Say it's Tyler
Shough. It looks like Shough to me. Tyler Shough. He, the former Oregon quarterback, obviously he's been injured, but if he plays the way he played prior to his injury, I think that they are going to be decent at quarterback. This was another one that was hard for me once you got a little bit deeper in the Big 12. However, that is my top 7 for 2022.
Well, Jack and Katie, I'm going to go last today because I'm contemplating something. So, Jack, why don't you go next?
What?
Just
Nothing?
All
Let
right.
me do what I'm going to do.
So, Jack, may I ask you, did you not like my Quinn Ewers placing or my Spencer Sanders placing?
I mean, I'll just,
Okay.
once I get to my list.
All right.
What's your list now?
Oh,
Oh, I'm up.
Yep.
All right. 1, I have Quinn Ewers. 2, I have Dylan Gabriel. 3, Spencer Sanders. 4, JT Daniels. 5, Max Duggan. 6, Tyler Show. Tyler Lubbock, we'll just call him. And then
Tyler Lubbock. I like that.
And then 7, we'll call him Adrian Martinez.
Oh.
I don't know why we'll call him that, but he is. I mean, at the end of the day, Adrian Martinez is almost the most experienced in this conference outside of Spencer Sanders. He may honestly have more. He put up decent numbers in Nebraska. He just made so many bad decisions. But I think the 7 he's a guy who could rise up. Maybe the Kansas State move is something that's really going to benefit him. These are all projections. Like, this is how I see it at the end of the season. Spencer Sanders, I remember being a lot worse than he actually was. His performance against the Notre Dame defense last year in the Fiesta Bowl was really impressive. 4 touchdowns. He played, I think, close to 300 yards, or maybe he was over that. Anyways, that's my list. I'm incredibly confident in Quinn Ewers.
You are putting him at number 1.
Katie?
I had the same exact thought as Jack did. Like when Spencer Sanders was voted like first team, I was so confused and I thought it was a joke, but then looking back. So number 1, Dylan Gabriel. Number 2, Spencer Sanders. 3, Quinn Ewers. 4, JT Daniels. 5, Blake Shapen. 6, Adrian Martinez. 7, Max Duggan. I think seventh was the hardest for me to kind of put in. I kind of could like go through 1 through 6 off the top of my head, and then 6 is kind of had to squeeze in. I mean, 7 had to squeeze in there.
All right. Well, there's one. I'm going to have one name on my list that nobody had on their list. Thank God, because I, being the heart and soul, it's going to mean a lot for this young man to be called out by me. I went back and forth with 1 and 2. I went back and forth. I ultimately settled on Dylan Gabriel because I've seen it on the field before. It's happened. I kind of believe in Quinn Ewers more. I think by the end of the year, Quinn Ewers will be number 1. But for this exercise, you got to go with the guy who's done it at least somewhere. So I got Dylan Gabriel 1. I got Quinn Ewers 2. I have Spencer Sanders 3. There's nothing sexy about Spencer Sanders, but he's just going to be there. He's going to throw 25 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 3,000 yards, and he's going to have his team in every single game. Number 4, that's where I got JT Daniels. I think JT Daniels has a chance to be really good this year, but he hasn't proven it over a 5-game stretch in his life, in his career. So we'll have to wait and see. Number 5, I have Adrian Martinez. We're going to find out very quickly if there was a Nebraska problem or an Adrian Martinez problem, or if they just needed a divorce and they're both better off. All of those are on the table, and he's surrounded by great talent on offense at Kansas State. Number 6, I have Jalen Daniels, Kansas. The last 3 games, when they beat Texas, when they scored 50-something in Austin, when they played decent at the end of the season, Jalen Daniels was the quarterback. 7 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and he was outstanding over the last 3 weeks of the season. Jalen Daniels, number 6, and Blake Shapen, Baylor, number 7. That is my list. It is the best list. I always do lists, and I always have the best lists.
Yep.
I'm turning into Trump. I don't know if y'all know that.
Well,
You have the greatest lists.
I have the greatest list, and I'm sorry, my lists are the best
in
list.
your own head.
You're going to make so many great lists
In your
that
own
people
head.
are going to start begging you to stop making great lists.
I just
And you're
I
gonna
have too
be like,
many great
"No."
lists. They're going to say I'm the great list maker.
And you're going to say, nope, I need to keep making them. And they're going to say, no, Brandon Walker, no heart and soul. Please stop. And
When
you'll
I
say,
get
no, we need more great lists.
You're
when
gonna
I get to the gates of heaven, they're going to throw out their list and say, Brandon, did you bring us one? And I'm going to give it to them.
They're going to say, please stop embarrassing us. Every time you put out a list, we feel absolutely moronic. We can't even read our own list because we're so unintelligent in comparison to your lists.
Agreed. Thank you, Kayce.
All of our lists were pretty similar.
Can
By
I?
the way, there's a name. There's a name that really Hunter Deckers is probably going to be the Iowa State quarterback.
Yes.
None of us know if he's going to be any good.
Iowa State fans think he's going to be great.
They think that
Correct.
that right behind Brock for so long that he's mentored him. So they think that he's gonna be able to step right in. The other issue is that the pieces also around him are stepping right in. So it's not like he's stepping into the old system.
That's
like-
one of the great fallacies of football.
It is so good.
A mentor from another quarterback. Brock Purdy's job the past 4 years, and like NFL quarterbacks, they say this all the time in the NFL, like their job is to play football, not to coach the younger guy. So like,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess you could learn a few things or whatnot, but it's a great fallacy that like, oh, he learned under this guy. What did he really? Like, think about it. Who's learned under Tom Brady that really panned out?
Which NFL quarterback was it? I think it was Ryan Tannehill over the offseason. Didn't they draft a quarterback?
Yeah.
He's like, it's not my job to mentor him. It's my job to go out and I want to be the starting quarterback. I'm not going to mentor him.
And when he said it, people didn't make as big of a deal about it. But when that happened in Pittsburgh a few years ago, and Ben Roethlisberger, I can't remember who they drafted, but it was like
I think Josh Dobbs,
whoever it was, and Ben Roethlisberger,
or maybe what's his name from Oklahoma State?
It was who? Shit.
Ramsey? No.
Who was it from Oklahoma State that got drafted? It was 2018, 2019.
The guy who got hit by the Myles Garrett.
Anyways, Mason Rudolph.
Like how
And
that's how we
Ben
know.
Ben Roethlisberger like came out and was like, "It's not my job to mentor him," and everyone just ripped him apart. Which I mean, ripping apart Ben Roethlisberger is a fun thing, anyways. But he's right.
But think about Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. Like Brett Favre was like, "No, you can." Like he's a part of the team, so it's like, okay, I'll be nice to him. But he's like, why am I? It's different in college because you can't stay there for 12 years, but
it does have a different feeling when it's college, but still, I mean, it's like just because a guy sat behind a guy doesn't make him the guy.
Well, we'll see. He is a talented guy.
He apparently has he's much better on his feet than Brock Purdy was, supposedly.
I have 8 things that are underrated about college football.
I'm so excited about this.
That I like to talk about, and I would like for you guys to give me your feedback. I started to do overrated, but I said no, it's going to be positive, Brandon, this time, because when I get back next week soon, we're going to have to cram in a hate week, so we're going to have to turn negative very quickly. So this is going to be all positive, all 8 underrated things about college football. Some of these things I mentioned on the show before, but I've fleshed the thoughts out more here.
Don't say flesh.
Flush.
Why are your legs moving so much, Smith?
Because I'm on cold medicine. I told you, when I take cold medicine, I sincerely feel like I'm high as fuck.
8 underrated things about college football. This is in no particular order. Number 1, Brad Nessler gets a lot of love. Chris Fowler gets a lot of love. A lot of play-by-play announcers get a lot of love. Gus Johnson gets a lot of love. Underrated college football voice. He's been around sports 80 years. Sean McDonough on the call. Sean McDonough is an outstanding college football broadcaster. I guess his most famous call is probably the last play of the game, Jalen Watts-Jackson, Michigan punt a couple of years ago. Sean McDonough is a tremendous college football announcer.
Did you see the college football announcer news?
No.
So Benetti, was at ESPN, and it's the Chicago White Sox and whatnot. He probably did the 3rd or 4th game on ESPN each week. Benetti is now going to be on Fox Sports with Brock Heward. And a lot of people are because a lot of people like Brock Heward as the second guy on Fox, second game. And Benetti's great too. So that will be an interesting duo this season to keep an eye on.
Yeah, Benetti's fantastic. Sean McDonough, also fantastic. One of I mean, and everybody knows this just because his personality does show more, I think, especially when he does NFL stuff, but he just seems to just not like, he cares obviously, but like he has that aura of just like, I'm going to say what I want. I don't care who it pleases. Like that's the way he calls those games. And it feels so much more realistic.
Remember when you guys had an emotional breakdown because Dan Orlovsky was like, oh, you guys shouldn't make the playoffs.
A&M?
Yeah. You remember that?
Yeah.
I was just thinking about like, I don't know.
Thanks, Jack.
Randomly.
Jack might have actually tweeted earlier.
Another thing about McDonough is he's kind of ageless. Like he's been around 40 years and he feels like he hasn't, which is
he's funny. He's a funny dude.
Seems like a nice guy too. No one's ever added something bad to say.
Number 2, underrated thing about college football. They don't happen as much as they used to back in the 90s. There really is nothing like a good Thursday night game, a good one. When you get a good matchup on Thursday night, it takes over the sports world. I think it even does so more so than the NFL games. When you get a good Thursday night matchup and it is living alone on Thursday, and you got the nighttime crowd, and you got the students are all loaded up. A good Thursday night game is very underrated in the world of college football. Because if we did a list of what the best times were, we'd say noon, we'd say Saturday night. But you give me a good Thursday night matchup, and it's hard to beat.
Especially because as of late, and it's not just, the last few seasons, it has been a thing, is everyone likes to make fun of the NFL Thursday night matchups. So they're usually garbage. And even if they're close games, they're usually garbage games as well. I feel like the last time that Thursday night games were incredibly relevant was when like Erin Andrews was on the sidelines, which I don't remember her last year of doing that. But it was like, if you were the Thursday night sideline reporter, at least from, me growing up watching that, it was like, I think it was her.
You did Thursday. You would do Thursday night, and then you would do Saturday game day.
Yes.
That's yeah.
So it was like her, and it was.
I think what's her name did it. Who's at NBC now?
Kaylee
Think
Hartung,
about how many great
Jen.
Thursday night upsets there were. Arizona beat Oregon. That was unfortunately the game that I think Dennis Dixon tore his ACL.
Yeah.
Iowa State, back when Iowa State was booty, beat Oklahoma State and Brandon Whedon.
Way back in the day, Virginia beat Florida State on a Thursday night.
Yeah.
When Florida State was number one in the country, like 4 or 5 years.
And Thursday's
a big run.
Thursday's the sneaky best night of the week in colleges. So it makes perfect sense why kids go the hardest on Thursdays and the environment would be better.
And then your game is over with. And so then just for the rest of the weekend, if you're a fan, you can just enjoy watching the rest of the slate.
I bet the Thursday got ruined because NFL does Thursday every week now.
Yeah, and they won't. The SEC is not going to go up against it. Big Ten's not going to go up against it.
No.
ACC does sometimes, but it's usually like NC State, Syracuse, or something.
All right, I have mentioned this before, but I'm going to pull it out a little bit more. Everybody knows your game day atmosphere is great. Everybody knows the day of a game building up, and maybe even after winning a game, it feels fantastic. But I believe the night before a big game in your campus, a night before the game at your school, is underrated. It's elite. It's it's a Friday night. The weather is almost always good, especially September, October. It's a 70-degree night. Everybody's eating outside. Everybody's enjoying each other. You haven't turned on the visiting fans yet. Oh, where are you from? Oh, it's good to have you here. Thanks for coming. Not 24 hours from now, you're going to call them a worthless cunt, but not now. You're happy they came to your school. Everybody's in good spirits. Nobody's lost yet. Nobody's drunk yet. At least nobody's like angry drunk yet. Nobody's sunburned yet. It's the perfect night.
It's like Christmas Eve. It truly is. It's Christmas Eve every single week because you get so excited. You're anticipating the next day and the next morning, but you really have nothing to lose. Like, it's just like you're going to go out and you're going to have a good time. You're going to eat some food. And the only thing that matters the next morning or the next afternoon or night is going to that game, opening presents on Christmas. Everybody's happy on Christmas Eve, I think. Well, for the most part, generally.
I think that probably was anti-Semitic, but that's okay.
Oh my God.
I think she was hinting at you're around your family, and sometimes family can be stressful.
Thank you,
Or
Jack.
if you have to
Thank you, Jack.
work, you have other
Thank you,
stuff to
Jack.
do.
When college football is Friday nights, you usually pick who you're with, so it's more
Right.
friends.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Jack. Yes.
Number four, similar to the Friday night, but it's just a feeling. I want to take you somewhere right now. Okay.
All right.
Okay, we're doing meditation.
It's Saturday morning. Okay. Your game starts at 3:00. You just got to campus. You just parked your car. You're walking along. The sun's shining, feels good at 68 degrees. Hey, how you doing? Good to see y'all. You're walking past frat row or whatever. And that first drum beat that you hear off in the distance, that first marching band practice you hear off in the distance tells you shit's about to go down. That is underrated.
Very specific.
I think of
Not
more, I was there, but I was thinking more of a crisp fall Saturday. So more like maybe 52, 48. It was kind of windy.
Yeah.
It's very colorful because of all and that feeling once you open your car door. Maybe you're walking there, you're close enough to walk, but most people do.
I was doing a very mindfulness exercise in my brain while you were saying that. I was picturing it. I am with Jack. I felt a little bit of a cooler weather. I've got a nice hoodie or a crew neck on. Instead of the first drum beat, though, it's the first time you crack a beer open. Like when you're
I don't want to be that guy, but it's the first fucking drum beat because it's my list.
Yeah.
I'm just saying where I went. It's the first sound that reminds you it's game day. I got a high noon in my hand or whatever, and it's just like a.
At number 5, it says the first drum beat that you hear. It doesn't say the first beer or the first fucking quarter zip you wear in New England.
Does that say a number? Oh, all
First
right.
high noon.
Relax.
I'm gonna get the other one.
At New England, what was that, man?
First high noon.
That gets in New England, isn't it?
What? It is New England, but it was just weird how you said. Like, it was just
He's just
weird how
lashing
you
out.
said it.
He's lashing out.
Did that list? Did what you just put up to the screen say Tennessee undefeated?
No, it said Tennessee violations.
Ah, nice handwriting.
I know.
It's
I
baffling,
beautiful
this
handwriting.
I had to write like that in third grade when I was forced to write cursive.
I did a TikTok recently where
Classy people writing cursive.
I wrote out
Old
stuff
people.
and people were commenting, this is the worst handwriting I've ever seen.
Brandon's handwriting is least like his personality, I think, of anybody I know.
How are the kids handwriting these days? The kids that they took out of school for the past 2 years. It's got to stink.
Not great, Jack. Not great.
Yep. Yeah.
All right. Number 5. We're halfway home. We're turning the corner here. This particular aspect of college football gets a bad rap because sometimes when they get a call wrong, or a ref gets called wrong and then replay doesn't fix it, and we're like, oh, why do we even have replay? I think an underrated part of college football that we didn't have 30 years ago or 25 years ago is when replay steps in and gets a call right. How many times would your team have been fucked if the replay hadn't gone back and seen that his knee was down, or replay saw that he did cross the pylon? We don't give replay enough credit for when it gets things right.
Fair enough.
Okay, that one didn't hit. All right, we move on.
No, I agree with you. It's one of those things that's it's 98% good. And then there's the time where you're like, wait a second, is the SEC against me?
But we talk about the 2% way more than the 98%.
That's what I was about to say. It's the 2% that we care way more about than the 98%.
Imagine knowing a knee was down and they scored a touchdown on the play, or there was a fumble and they didn't review it.
Every single fan base over the age of 25 or 30, every single fan over has a game in his life that changed because of a bad call, and he can go back to it right now. But sometimes you play Memphis and they go back and replay it, and the guy's knee is down while he's holding the ball, and they still give him a punt return and give him a shit win over you.
Yep.
Yeah. I remember
How could I
UVA.
forget?
We
How could any of us?
wasn't called and we lost the game. Like we were losing, but if we got the ball back, we could have scored. And
Number 6. I think I've talked about this before, but there really is no better feeling than when you're in a stadium and you just won. The walk out of the stadium at home with all your friends and family and buddies after you won. You just beat Florida 38-35 and you're all walking out of Kyle Field together. That's a good ass feeling. That's a fun walk.
That's a great one. That is, and it's
Everyone's friends.
Everyone is friends.
Everyone's friends. Yes.
Everyone has the biggest ego of all time. Chants break out. People are high-fiving. And on the flip side, one of the worst feelings in the world is when you're leaving an opposing stadium when you've lost.
Nope. Not negative today.
Okay, sorry, no negative. But that's what I'm saying. The positive feeling is so high because you've been on the opposite side of it and you're just living in that glory. Everybody wants to know what bar you're going to. You can't wait to get out with your people.
Yeah, you can't wait to get another drink in you. The other one's like, you can't wait to get a drink in you for a different reason. Yeah. Sorry, no negative.
Positive vibes only.
Bonk. All right. Number 7.
I get it.
He was saying drinks in ya. I would suppose. I can't even talk on this medicine.
Number 7. I feel like it doesn't have the same relevance it had a few years ago when it was Lou Holtz and Mark May at the end, but there's really nothing better than firing up that last highlight show of the night at like 12 and falling asleep to it and just waking up randomly to highlights, just letting it play throughout the night because it replays and replays. That last highlight show of the night that just has everything in it. You can watch for a day and a half and not get tired of it.
I like that one. I don't want to add on to it because it's your list. And last time I did that, you got upset. But there is another one that's similar to that I think is underrated.
Add it on.
When you decide that you're not going to stay up for the really late night game and you fall asleep, but you fall asleep with the TV on and you wake up because a call is really loud because something crazy in the game has happened, and you wake up because you hear it, and then you end up watching the rest of the game if it's close because it woke you up out of your stupor. That's an underrated feeling.
And my last one,
I'm about to tweet Brandon. This is one that you can take credit for, but I'm going to tweet out right now. Like, kids these days will never know how amazing this show was. And it's going to be a picture of Lou Holtz and Mark May. And by the end of this podcast, I bet it has 500 likes.
Go ahead.
More
last one is, and this is underrated feeling. It could be the first time or it can be every time, but the first time every season when your favorite stadium song hits when you're in the stadium.
Yeah.
whether I don't know what A&M's big stadium song is that you guys do. I know we do Don't Stop Believing between third and fourth quarter. Now I think Mike Leach is about to change it to Mississippi Queen. We'll see. Because that song's about a hooker. Anyway, doesn't matter. They like Hugh Freeze as the coach. But when that stadium, you know the feeling of your favorite song in your favorite stadium.
Yeah, A&M's would be Power by Kanye, which is the first one that they play when the team comes out. But there is nothing like it if you're an Aggie fan when you hear that, the acapella. Oh, hey.
I can't hear Welcome to the Jungle without going back to third downs at the rant.
Nobody can, Jack.
Nobody can, especially Robert Griffin.
Especially Robert Griffin
By
III.
the way, Brandon, we've not spoken about this on this podcast, I don't think.
Yeah, we did. We talked about it last week, didn't we?
Yeah, but then he deleted his tweets later in the day. Did you?
Yeah, we talked about it the second podcast.
Didn't,
Remember?
he didn't DM me, aka you back.
Yeah, he didn't DM me back.
I love that he snuck himself in there that way. It was like, oh no, Deion Sanders, Lamar Jackson, myself. Very funny.
Yeah, I love that. I kind of wish he'd said myself first.
Definitely.
Can I add another feeling?
Yeah.
This might be very small and momentarily and will be eclipsed by others, but just kind of symbolizing the season starting when conferences start putting out the hype videos. Like, I don't think the song choice was very good for the SECs, but just seeing the media days, like, okay, like the season is here. I know you guys poo-pooed it, but like seeing the polls, seeing the talking heads, like media days, I think like starts like rile everybody up, and like seeing those videos come out, it's like, wait, like we're going to see this in a month.
You realize you should give yourself some more credit. Like this show is talking heads now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we are talking head.
We didn't talk about it, but how about the SEC's country song they had a week ago and they
It
deleted
was awesome.
You see that?
No.
Wait,
They caught the new
there's video.
they have the new song of college football this year is unreal.
Yes.
It's
Wait, is this the one like over that hype video?
no, there was a different
Whatever that
we
song
can't
was,
play it on YouTube.
No, we
whatever the
can't,
song
yeah.
over the SEC one that they put out, the visuals were great, timing was great, but just like the song
they
was
did
like too melody.
They did I think it's Walker Hayes and like Livy Dunn's in the video. They did like a music video for
I
it.
love music videos for stuff like this because they're always so cheesy.
Yeah,
Can I
they're
just say
great.
something?
Oh no. Yes.
Of course, better than anyone I know.
I haven't listened. That's my line. I haven't listened to country music proper in about 10 years. The new guys, your Hardys, I know them because of Mississippi State, your Morgan Wallens, your Walker Hayes. I don't know them. I don't know their music. I haven't listened to them. Every time I turn on country music, they're all singing about their truck, and I have no idea why.
Well, they've been doing that the whole time country music's been a thing.
No, it's just been trucks and tailgates and long skirts or short skirts in the last couple of years. Anyway, I had to ride the other day. I didn't have Sirius, so I listened to country music for 2 hours. Y'all, I heard a song.
Oh no.
I heard a song, and I think it's by this Walker Hayes. It has a line saying, I'm gonna go down deep south to Alabama where they all love Nick Saban. I almost wrecked my car and killed myself. I didn't want to keep driving. I wanted it to all end right there. I don't want
the direction I thought that was going.
Me neither,
I
honestly.
don't want to be riding down the road and listening to Nick Saban carols. This is bullshit.
Is he the one who has the song, I hate Alabama, I hate Crimson Red?
No, I don't think so.
Because he has like a girl broke his heart that was from Alabama, and like
Naturally.
Can I?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this.
Yeah, and every time I see that Braves baseball hat, something off their head.
Stop trying to do a country accent because it's breaking your voice.
I will be honest. I'm the same way, Brandon. I haven't listened to a lot of country music since I left Texas. When we were in Sonoma for NASCAR, obviously we had Spider put on the hot country music of the day, and I believe it was Morgan Wallen. He told me it went viral on TikTok, Jack. So you probably know what I'm talking about. It's a song that's like, I'll never love you more than I love my hometown. Do you know what I'm talking about? And apparently it was
So
something
it's just a knockoff Eric Church.
and it's just like, what do you mean? Like, he's like, I could love you and like love you till the day you die, but I will never love you more than I love my
music
hometown.
now,
it's
it's unfortunate. It's
Everybody
unfortunate.
Jack, I just have to read you this lyric. Okay.
All right, yeah, no, go ahead. Yeah.
And I'm just trying to keep my daughters off the pole and my sons out of jail, trying to go to church so I don't go to hell. I'm just trying to keep my wife from figuring out that I married up and she married way, way down in Alabama, where they love Nick Saban, trying to write a song the local country station will play. Hey, I'm just trying to stay out of AA. Fuck America. It was a bad idea.
That is horrible. And
That's on the radio.
I'm sure when you put it to like a melody and you've got some rhythm behind it, it sounds kind of nice. Reading it the way you just did, that might be the worst song ever written in the history of songs.
People make music now so they become TikTok sounds.
I'm just trying to keep my daughter off the pole.
Sounds like Pole Assassin. Or Kevin
Keep
Hart.
me out of AA. I mean, all things I guess you could strive for, but
That is a decent life. What he just described.
but why did Nick
But wait. The entire song is about, I want to keep my daughters this, I want to keep my sons this, I'm trying to stay out of AA. And he just threw Nick Saban in there.
Right, now where'd he belong in that song?
Because-
Who
He
sings
wrote
that?
this at an AutoZone. That's where he wrote it. Him and Dylan co-wrote it.
O'Reilly.
Who,
Oh, I'm sorry. It's O'Reilly. O'Reilly's.
who wrote that?
I
Who
don't know.
sings that?
Walker Hayes.
I think he was the one who did the he's the one who did the infamous fancy like Applebee's on a date
Your
night.
favorite song.
And then he did the most recent one that went viral last week on Twitter for just being the worst song ever.
I don't want to overreact, but I fucking hate him.
He seems like a cool guy.
He's doing something right.
Kayce, do you have the either ors and my random teams?
Yeah, let's do your random teams first. Like I said, I had 15 of them. I dwindled it down. These are just the first.
I don't want to brag, but the tweet I told you I was going to tweet already has 170 likes.
I liked the tweet, Jack. All right. So for those that don't know what we're about to do, Brandon loves a good trivia. He loves a good brain buster. So I have come up, these were the first 5 schools in each Power 5 conference that came to my mind. Brandon will name the first player that pops in his head, therapy style, not on the current roster. Are you ready, Brandon Walker?
Yes.
Missouri,
Chase Daniel.
Wisconsin,
Monty Ball.
Ooh,
Iowa State,
Seneca Wallace.
Virginia Tech,
Michael Vick. That's not very random.
Cal.
Aaron Rodgers.
That's 5. You want me to keep going?
Kind of, yeah. Keep going.
Vanderbilt,
I'm gonna try Jay Cutler. I'm gonna try to get more random. Okay, go.
Tulane.
Jay Cutler's not random.
Tulane.
JP Lossman.
Yep, I love it.
he's now just flipping through the app.
UTEP.
Short little running back.
Yep.
Wait, for Tulane,
Aaron Jones.
Fat Watts.
No, keep going.
Georgia Tech.
Joe Webb. No,
We
not
just-
Joe Webb. Not Joe Webb. Joe
We
Hamilton.
just created a new game.
We did.
Just get your athlon. And
Yes.
for people who are listening, just get your athlon and just open to a random page.
I love it. I was writing it down. I love it.
This would be interesting if you got this. UMass.
We played y'all a couple of years ago. You had a good tight end. I don't remember though.
Adam Brenneman. He's actually a
Yeah.
pretty big TikTok star now.
Minnesota,
Lawrence Maroney.
Virginia,
The big quarterback from a couple of years ago.
Bryce Perkins.
The Brickashaw Ferguson.
Oh,
That's
DeBrick.
not a quarterback,
NC State,
yeah. I went Chris Corciani. He's a basketball player. Phillip Rivers.
Purdue,
Let's see. That's Drew Brees. Now I'm on quarterbacks. I got to get off quarterbacks. Stubblefield. Taylor Stubblefield. What was his name? Something Stubblefield. Okay, that's enough. One more.
Florida State.
that's enough. One more.
Camp Lee.
All right.
That's a great game.
We could do that like next time too.
I like that. A little brain buster.
So for anyone if you have an athlon, just open up to a random page with your friends. You could do that all night.
Can I
All
just?
night
I need a
long.
little.
Or
I need a little soapbox for a second. I need a little soapbox.
Okay.
What I hold in my hand. What I hold in my
I'm going
hand.
after you.
Katie doesn't like it.
I told y'all this so long ago.
He did.
Hey, relax. What I hold in my hand is considered by some to be the Bible of college football. I personally don't consider it that. There's way too much shorthand. There's way too much talking about shit that doesn't matter in here.
Talking about his own computer system.
Correct. Talking about his own computer system. Like if you read, like an example, you read about I'll just pick anybody like Iowa. It tells you in 2020, Spencer Petras was this. I don't care what happened in 2020. Stop talking about that. Anyway, it's Phil Steele's. Now, if you love it, great. If you don't love it, great. Well, let's talk about this, Phil. I know that you do put a lot of work into it. I know that you talk to a lot of coaches. That's great. 20 motherfucking dollars? 20, Phil, $20? $20. I get a blowjob for $20, Phil. What are we doing that this magazine is 20 goddamn dollars? Gas is high as hell, Phil. I don't need to be spending $20 on a fucking magazine about college football, but I will because it's a magazine about college football. You've got me by the balls. Stop robbing me, Phil Steele. 20 goddamn dollars.
Athlon's 12.
I'd rather pay 12 for Athlon than 20 for Phil Steele.
$11.99 actually.
I did both.
I'm going to be honest. I don't think $20 is that much for that.
Listen to this.
Phil Steele is just not worth it.
Temple Owls quarterback. In 2020, they lost their starter week 3, and the backups then went down one by one until Kamal Gray started versus EC with a wide receiver as his backup. That doesn't fucking matter, Phil. It doesn't fucking matter.
It's so much funnier
I
when
found
you say
myself
his name.
reading like just the summaries, and like that's just all his computer stuff. Like not even the full like position breakdown. Like maybe for every 20 teams, there's an interesting thing in the scheduling, but just
In his synopsis about the defense, this is the synopsis for the USF defense. In 2019, USF was number 5 in the FBS with 8.3 tackles per loss per game. I don't give a fuck. What's their 2022 defense going to be like, Phil?
It is very
Welcome.
true, Brandon. I know Katie's been saying this. Jack's been saying this. We're all, no disrespect to Phil, but
disrespect.
there is very little information in there that you can't just look up yourself.
This book is kind of garbage. I'm going to be honest.
This is why I use Brett Sienica's
I love Athlon.
Pick 6 previews and Athlon. Those are the 2. I used Lindy's before I got Brett's, but now that I have Brett's, I use just these 2. And I'll confirm with a third source if these 2 disagree. Like, that's it. You need.
So hold on.
I paid $50 to print this out. That's how
Look
much
at
I
this.
like.
Look at this.
Yeah, you're not on.
Oh
it.
no, Brandon, we've already talked
Wait,
about this.
Brandon, who do you
Look
think's
at
on?
Look at
Oh,
this.
I know. Oh, I
Look at
know.
this.
And if you're not watching on YouTube, once again, for the millionth time, you should be watching on YouTube.
This is,
Tell you the 4 who are on it.
hey, join these verified fans who follow me on Twitter. Mac Brown, Lane Kiffin, Brett Bielema, Cliff Kingsbury, Kayce Smith.
No,
I'm not on there.
he's not on it. Sorry. I know the 4 who are on it. And that's
I'm not on there. We've talked about this
There's
on
only
this very
3, actually. Only
podcast.
3 people are on it. Sorry, Barstool people.
There are Barstool people on it. You and I are not
3.
2 of them.
Mincy's on it?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Kelly in Vegas and Dan. Big Cat.
Okay, I mean,
I had to go
Cat
make
and
sure I was
Kelly,
still following him.
Everyone, I don't know.
I don't
talked-
follow him.
We've
The 3
we've
of us follow
DM'd.
him.
We have DM'd
I don't.
back and forth.
I don't follow him.
Big Cat, Mins,
I think
Kelly
I'm
in
gonna,
Vegas.
you know what? No
Those are the
disrespect,
3.
Phil. I'm going to unfollow him.
I got nothing against Bill Still.
I'm going to
I've
unfollow
always
Phil.
said his magazine's a bit overrated, but he's like a pioneer.
I'm pissing on it.
The
Oh
game,
my God.
What? Brandon!
he's not.
He's holding his
Wait,
hands
I'm
like
trying to
he
listen.
is.
I'm listening.
You know what stinks? He's not going to let us put out this clip on Twitter. Like I'll post it, then 2 minutes later, be like, take that fucking down right now.
Did y'all hear it?
No.
No,
I
but
couldn't.
Jack has a great point.
I spilled that entire Sprite on this fucking Phil Steele, and y'all didn't hear it?
Nah, you couldn't hear it. We really listened.
And
Yeah, I
Brandon,
did.
Brandon,
unfortunately.
can we have a little chat, a mom and dad chat here?
It is- Ah,
Looks like you're hydrated though.
I'm putting that on mine. at
Yeah,
least.
can
It's
we
not-
can we have a little chat?
Yeah, keep talking. I gotta find a towel.
Also, that Sprite, that sugar, fruit flies coming.
Oh yeah, and it's hot as fuck down there too. So you know that they're looking for that air conditioning. Well, he can't hear me, but I do feel
Dude,
like
flies know that it's hot.
yeah.
They were everywhere. We were eating
think
outside
so.
last night, and there was
Don't they?
swarming.
Where do they go in the winter?
I think they die.
What's it? Door.
You know, so when I was at home for
Dormant?
the brief period of time I was home last week, I forgot how awful mosquitoes are in the South in the summer. Those motherfuckers are relentless. They're the worst. Like New York has a lot of things that aren't so great in the summer. I am so happy the mosquitoes aren't flying around.
Yeah.
There, it's the air's too toxic. Brandon, why are you on your knees?
I spilled a drink.
You practicing?
I spilled a drink.
Can we talk about something, please?
Say whatever you want to talk about, bitch. I'm just trying to judge.
Damn. He's been in Mississippi for a little too long, throwing around.
Damn.
Whenever you say really funny shit and Jack and Katie put it out on Twitter that might be a little hot buttony and you tell them to take it down, it does us a disservice.
What did I tell him to take down?
You do it all the time.
The most
Oh, when I called Will Shipley a pussy, I didn't want that smoke.
if it's about a player, that I get that, but like
But
this
this-
other.
But just like
I
you,
get it. It is his brand. Like
he says it on the podcast.
I
I
get
know.
fired up, Kayce. I can't be putting out calling players a pussy.
no. I should have cut out the pussy part.
You should have just bleeped it.
No, I should have just cut out the butt. Like,
But like him
but that was
pretending-
such a funny moment. He was like, players are tweeting at me, and then I put in Will Shipley, but whatever.
I mean, him pretending to pee on a magazine is very funny.
But he's not gonna want that out
I
there.
know.
Brandon, we're gonna clip it and put it out.
Nah, I don't think he wants it out there. I do agree that sometimes it's like the podcast exclusive stuff is cool.
That is true.
Like you don't want to put all of it out there. That's the thing about this company. They're like, you got to put out all these clips, all these clips, all these clips. It's like you put out so many clips, no one's going to listen to the podcast.
Well, we got to be careful. We don't want to get too many YouTube subscribers. They'll cancel the show. We don't want to make some others look bad around here. All right, what else we got?
I
You
think would
got
you rather?
I got either ors, but damn, that was good, Brandon. You really on one. I'm excited for you to come back. I miss you. I want to hug you, but something about Mississippi Brandon really just,
It's the hair. He lacks the hair gel.
yeah, I miss the beard.
I think it was seeping into his head or lack of.
I can't believe I.
If you peed, it wouldn't be sugar and fruit flies.
Oh, yeah, it would.
Yeah, that sweet tea running through his veins,
All right, continue.
that urinary tract. All right, my version of either ors. I did 5 of them. I figured that was enough. Brandon, this one would be tough for me and you because we don't shut the fuck up. But would you rather, or either or, never get to talk about your team at all? They basically do not exist. Whether somebody brings them up in an argument, whether they win the big game, whatever it may be, you may not speak of them at all. Or your rival wins the Natty that year.
So I got to choose. Ole Miss wins the national title, or I can never talk about Mississippi State again.
You can like, even if somebody is pestering you or Mississippi State wins the national title, you are never allowed to speak about them again.
All right. Then the other option is Ole Miss winning the national title.
Yes. Really?
I would zip my lip about Mississippi State. You would never hear that come out of my. I do not want to live in a world where Ole Miss wins anything of consequence in football.
So you just go mute.
I just go mute. I probably wouldn't talk anyway.
Well, you wouldn't have anything to talk about.
Just stop talking. I don't talk about Mississippi State as much as some on this podcast talk about their schools.
Oh, get the fuck out
I
of
mean,
here.
wouldn't it just be basically pretending like you're not a
Casey's
fan
gonna
of
make
school?
this about Texas A&M.
No, I'm not.
No, just make it about Johnny Manziel.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, let's just be the comment section.
Yeah. What did Billy Lucci have to say about this, Kayce?
Yeah.
I didn't say. this
Wait,
is-
did you work at TexAgs?
you guys assholes? All of you assholes. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think that I could go for the rest of time not talking about my team.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, you're such a dick. You truly are. Do you guys agree with that?
I would, yeah. 'Cause
You
I
just
mean,
never talk about North
I
Carolina
feel
again?
It would basically be as if you're not a fan.
But you are. You just can't talk about it.
If Ole Miss,
Like you can just like you
I
still
don't
love
know.
it. It's not taking away your fandom. You just can't say shit about it.
You can still watch. I can still watch it. I can still read everything.
What if North Carolina won the national title and you couldn't say shit though?
that'd be the worst.
That'd be
But
the
I could
worst.
come in and I could dress everything and mime it. But no, I mean, I think no, NC State winning it. No,
I feel like I could get over 1 year of a rival winning a national
But
title.
you've already had it happened
Yeah.
to you.
That's true. It's a good point.
And it happened to you when you were at a point where you like would get very much made fun of.
I did.
All right, let's go.
Okay. If you could pick your starting quarterback for 2022 right now, and you had an either or possibility
That's a good
between
question.
Bryce Young, Heisman Trophy winner, national title, or Arch Manning, the highest
Ooh.
recruit in a very long time, your starting quarterback for 2022, Brandon, go.
It's Bryce Young without question.
But Arch Manning's in high school.
Well, okay, it's a hypothetical here. Okay, so 2 years from now, that your starting quarterback can either be Bryce Young or the hyped up Arch Manning.
I wouldn't even think about that. It's Bryce Young. I thought you were going to do Bryce Young and CJ Stroud.
Yeah, that was that
No,
for me.
What
that
if
was
you
CJ
what if we revise it like this? You can have this year of Bryce Young or the first 2 years of Arch Manning.
Okay, well okay, I should have prefaced that. I meant you have their careers. Like you have Bryce Young or you have Arch Manning. Arch Manning is going to be your starting quarterback for his career.
I still go with the sure thing of Bryce Young.
I agree, but I do think that there are people that say, okay, well, Bryce Young is probably going to leave for one more season. You could potentially have Arch Manning for a few years.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
Okay.
They're all Texas fans.
And you and Jack.
No, I just said Bryce Young.
Oh, fair. Okay.
Well, did he get downgraded? I saw Jack tweeting about it.
Well, yeah, ESPN's the first recruiting service to drop Arch for number one, but they put Malachi Nelson up at number one. And I was talking with some people that ran one of the biggest camps a few weeks ago, OT7 down in Vegas, and Malachi Nelson got benched at OT7.
For who? Or just
if you're the number one guy in the class, you should be getting benched in general.
Yeah,
I guess Malachi struggles in 7v7 sometimes, which is not good.
No, struggling in 7-on-7 stuff. All right, Brandon, would you rather be known for one of the best atmospheres in college football or the number one best food and bar scene of any college town in the country?
For me, that's so easy. I'll wait till he answers, but
This is hilarious. In Kyler Murray's
good question.
contract, there's a clause that he has to study film 4 hours per week.
The whole
This
week.
is a good question.
So
I'd rather be known for in-stadium atmosphere or my town's food scene.
but here's the thing. It's like you're always in the top, like let's say top 5.
I got my answer. I would rather have the atmosphere inside the stadium. I would want people to be scared of coming to play where I live now, because I feel like saying, but they got a nice food scene is also kind of an insult, right?
Well, the way I was looking at it is like, I never talk about the scene inside Georgia's stadium, but I constantly talk about how awesome Athens is.
But if somebody asks, what about Starkville? Well, the food's good. That's kind of an insult.
Yeah, I guess if you're saying like one has to be worse than it's like one worse than the other. However, like when it's like, what's the best college town you've ever been to? I constantly talk about Athens. I don't talk about Georgia's atmosphere. That doesn't mean Georgia's atmosphere sucks. It just means.
You also say Madison's your favorite college town. So which is it?
Well, Madison for me personally, but if I think that you talk about Athens too.
Athens is mine.
I think that I would rather have like a pretty good college football atmosphere, a good stadium atmosphere, and people don't make fun of the town that it's in, because you and I both know how that feels. I would rather be like, listen, you got to go to this college town. You are going to have such a good time, regardless of if your team is there or not.
But I've gotten to a point, I don't give a shit they make fun of Starkville. They make themselves look stupid. They're talking about Starkville 20 years ago. Now we got 15 great restaurants. We're fine. It's a good town. So they can say whatever they want.
I like Starkville. We had a nice time.
yeah, we talk about Eskimo Joe's all the time. We never talk about whatever Oklahoma State stadium name is.
Or,
All right, continue.
okay. Would you rather nobody give a single shit about your team at all? No one cares.
Seems
They
like
don't
I'm
talk
already
about
there.
you. Well, it's like, I mean, Mike Leach doesn't even get a headline ever. No one cares. Or
Fans included?
just, yeah,
Okay.
it's just a complete apathy. No one cares. Or everyone cares to the point where every single thing is dissected on a daily basis.
Well, if everyone cares, then you matter. So the answer is, it has to be that. So you're asking me, would I rather be Alabama or Vanderbilt? I'd rather be Alabama.
I agree. I feel like they're in my little jump into the the OU Twitter sphere, it's like if you talk about their team, they get mad at you. I'd rather my team be talked about all the time personally. If no one cares, who cares? I mean, apathy is the worst.
You want to be that's the definition of relevance, and you want that.
Okay. You want another one?
Yes.
Spend the day with either or. You have to hang out with Dabo Sweeney at a charity event. And that includes participating in his TikToks, participating in his social media shenanigans. Or you have to spend the day as Nick Saban's personal handler and go to every single event and run his step and repeat.
Oh my God. I think I'd rather be in Dabo's sphere of influence there. Now, when you say it's a charity event, are they going to say it's a charity event at first or only after it gets backlash because of his goofy ass dance?
No, you have to go, let's say
But
hypothetically.
that's what they did. They put out a video of the goofy ass dance. And then when people made fun of the goofy ass dance, they're like, oh, it's a charity event. You knew that at the beginning, you pieces of shit.
Yeah, no, it's your worst version of spending the day.
I would rather be with Dabo there because at least he's as awful as the Clemson cult is, following Nick Saban around that absolute swamp of mediocre dick riders would be awful.
You have to be all the Dylans. You'd have to be in charge of their step and
do
repeat.
that. I'm looking at a guy with a fucking BCS championship ring on his head. Get that fucking ring off your head, you
That
fucking.
guy has been there forever.
And they're both married and not to the game or each
The
other.
ring still says BCS on it.
I mean, that guy was there every year we were there.
Why can't he get a new hat?
How easy is it to make a hat like that?
Well, obviously, it was easy the first time. He got one the first time. Why can't he get another one?
It's definitely easier now than it was in 2011 when he got that.
Well, here though, maybe not in wherever he lives in Alabama.
No, there's definitely been in the past decade. There's definitely been technological.
Let me tell y'all something. In the state of Alabama, you can get anything made if it glorifies Alabama. You want a coffin? Done. You want a fucking Winnebago? Done. You want a hat that looks like a championship ring? Done. We can get you whatever as long as it sucks Nick Saban off. Doesn't matter.
I can't believe you'd rather hang out with Dabo than Nick Saban.
Well, it's for charity.
Mm.
I can do that too, right? I can do that too. It's for charity.
But you have to be involved in his TikToks. You would gritty next to him.
Kayce, you hate cancer. You hate cancer patients.
No, I hate Jesus.
You hate Jesus.
You hate breast cancer patients, to be more specific.
Brandon hates titties.
Women in general.
Brandon hates titties.
Brandon, this is my last one. Did you watch and I am plugging this because I think Roan is fantastic, the Barstool's Most Dangerous Game show last night?
I did not watch it. I was aware of it and I was following along.
Did you two watch it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was going to say, because it's my absolute nightmare, would you rather stick your head in that cockroach pit that they had to stick their head in, or actually drink the worms and cockroaches? And you have to drink it.
I'd rather drink it.
No, I think I'll stick my head in there. I'd be able to get used to it pretty quickly.
I think if you're drinking if you make it into a smoothie, you can pretend it's something else, or you can
Not if you listen to it, like everyone's like, oh, I thought I could pretend, but apparently there was like
scorpions. There was like
legs.
scorpions, like chunks of them in there.
I'd
I
still
would
do
do
the drink. Because I'd wake up dreaming about my head in that cockroach pit.
Yeah, no, I don't know why I did this, because now I'm going to start getting hives. However, I agree. But if you're not watching that, and this is not just because we work for Barstool, it's one of the coolest produced things I've ever seen. And I think Roan, I told him this today, he would be perfect in the Purge movies. Like the way that character he's playing as the host, he looks like he would kill poor people for fun. He's just an absolute nightmare.
He does.
Oh, he actually does.
Yeah, he does.
That's called capitalism. Yeah.
Yep.
All
All right.
Note.
Y'all ready to get out of here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
I
get out
called
of
my
here.
shot. I called my shot like Babe Ruth. I said the tweet was going to have 500 likes by the time the podcast ended, and it's at 525. I am Babe Ruth. Thank you very much.
Jack, it's at 542.
I'm
Jack
different.
out.
I'm different.
Jack, you've had a killer day on Twitter, man. Keep it up.
547.
I'm Himothy. What are some
I owe the
what are some
you are not him.
what are some college football players named like Jimmy or
For him, Hebo.
Yeah, I'm Hebo, Hemi Graham,
Emmy Chang.
Hemi Ching.
Himmy Drew. Oh no, damn it.
That's
Yeah.
backwards.
Drew Himmy.
That's backwards.
Hemi
Huh.
Tebow. Who are some others?
By the way, the first response to your tweet is great too, though.
Oh yeah, that's a great.
It says, but at least now they have this, Brandon, and it's the four of us. I believe it's the Penn State show.
All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Imagine if we could have our own. If we had rights to all the games, we could do our own final show.
Oh
it would
my
be
God,
sick.
It'd be so good.
Bye.
Bye.
That's what I say